The TX500 from LAB599 is designed and produced in Russia. A new QRP transceiver, up to 10 watts output on all bands from 160 meters to 6 meters, and a rugged case of military standard. We take a look at this new transceiver. Welcome once again to the Waters and Stanton video channel. I'm glad you could join me. I recently did an opening video just giving some bullet points on the new Russian transceiver, the Discovery TX500. And I promised I'd do an in-depth video, and I've done what I think is an in-depth video. You could judge for yourselves. It's been a bit of fun actually. It's a radio which is, I was going to say it's a one-off, but it's probably not a one-off really, but it's certainly something a bit different. Let me show you what I've done. I've never ever done this with any other HF transceiver. I would never ever dare do this with any other HF transceiver. But I did with this one because I believe what I read in the brochure. Let me just show you what I did. Oh, there we are. That radio had a jolly good soaking, and I had no concerns at all because I believe that it probably was as described. It's water resistant, and as I say, I've never ever done that with an HF transceiver. I did it with this one, so it gives you some idea of the sort of standard of construction of this radio. So, having dried the radio off, let's have a closer look at what it offers. The case is machined from a solid alloy block, which gives it very rigid and rugged construction. If you look at the front panel, you'll find there's a lip, which is really a miniature side handle if you like, and this enables the radio to be turned face downwards, fully protected. All necessary leads are provided for the external connections apart from the antenna. If you look on the back panel carefully, you'll see some connectors which are probably for an external battery pack, which will probably come later. The external connections are not familiar to us, but probably derived from the Russian military, and we will be carrying the necessary connectors in stock. Looking at the left-hand side of the transceiver, there are 3 connectors. The one far left is the DC connector, and a necessary DC lead with the appropriate connector is included, and that DC lead has a fuse. DC power is 8 to 16 volts. The center connection is designed for data modes connecting to your computer. It has audio in, audio out and remote connections, and although there's no lead provided, the necessary plug is provided so you can make your own connections. For the socket on the right hand side, there are 2 leads provided. One is the speaker microphone, and the other is a lead which has a headphone socket and a mic input socket, which I suspect is for a PC headset. It also has a fly lead with a PTT button on it. Now turning to the right hand side of the transceiver, the socket on the left is for CW key, and that lead has a 3.5mm socket which will accept either a straight key or a paddle key. The centre socket accepts the CAT lead which is included in the kit, and this enables the transceiver to talk to your computer for updating for other purposes. And on the right hand side is a standard BNC connector for the antenna. If you're using this radio for the first time and you haven't read the instruction book and you want to operate on SSB, it's actually very easy. Press the on button, wait for the radio to boot up. Just make sure that you've selected SSB on the mode. Adjust the frequency on the bands you want to operate. Find a clear space and press PTT. Golf 3 Oscar Juliet Victor testing, G3OJV testing. It's that easy. You're on the air. But of course the radio has got a lot of features, a lot of menu items, and you can configure the radio to suit your own personal taste. There are two menu systems on this radio. The first one is reached simply by moving this button here. You'll see that as I press this button, so the top and bottom menus rotate, and the menu items that are shown on the screen are accessed by these buttons here. Of course we can go in the opposite direction like that. So the upper menu is reached by these buttons here, and the idea is that you set it to the menu items that were most suitable for your type of operation. The lower menu is reached by this button here. Press that, and you'll see the menu item come up on the screen there. And that menu item there can be adjusted by these two buttons here. And to change the menu value, you just rotate the main tuning dial. It's that simple. Now let's suppose you've got your radio set up on your desk and you want to operate CW. If you've got a straight key, you just plug your key into the transceiver and you select CW using the mode button. You can see CW has come up on the screen there. Chances are you've probably got a paddle key. Now this radio is set up for a straight key. We press menu there, we get the menus coming up on the screen there. We want to go to number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you see that's set up as a simple key. We want to use an automatic key, so we simply rotate that dial there, press menu to get out of it, and now we've got the transceiver set up for a paddle key. Now we're ready to send CW. It's a semi-break-in, so as soon as you press the key it will go to transmit. If you look at the menu item at the top, you see you've got a speed control. We can also record CW phrases. There are 4 memory items for CW and also 2 for voice. So I've got CQ pre-programmed here. So, handy feature for CW operators. The radio also has a VSWR meter built in, and if I use this tone control, going a bit closer, you should see, hopefully, you can see on the screen there the VSWR reading. So this tone is also quite a good way of reading your VSWR. Let me explain one of the first things I did with this radio. Because it covers a number of modes, which includes AM and FM, and these are modes that I hardly ever use. I might use FM on 10 meters, but I hardly ever use AM and FM. And when I'm cycling through the modes, it's a pain to go through AM and FM. Well, there's a way to switch that off on a band by band basis. I'm on 14 megahertz at the moment, and if I press the menu button there, you'll see menu item 15 come up, and it says that AM and FM is enabled. I can rotate that, disable it, come out of the menu, and now I only cycle through SSB, CW and data. SSB is well catered for. I tend to use the same upper and lower menu items as I do for CW, because on the right hand side I've got the Vox on and off, and I've also got the power control, and I've also got that tone control, which enables me to generate a low level signal to check VSWR, and if I'm using an external antenna tuner, it enables me to quickly tune up. Sideband has got a microphone gain control, it's got a compressor control, it's got Vox, and of course it comes with the speaker microphone, which seems to give very good quality and get very good reports. PTT is catered for by the PTT button on the microphone, or if you're using a headset with the lead that I described in the opening, then you've got a PTT line with a button. On the receive side, you've got a very comprehensive receiver. The band scope covers 50 kilohertz, and the pass band in the center is the point at which you're listening. So the actual panoramic adapter passes across the stationary pass band in the center. You've got a preamp and an attenuator on the left there, and you've got a RF gain control. If you press that button there, you can adjust the RF gain. You can also adjust the level of the panoramic display. In other words, its sensitivity to incoming signals. Yeah, call sign is Golf 3 Oscar Japan Victoria, running QRP. Golf Figure 3 Oscar Juliet Victor. QSL?
QSL Golf 3 Oscar Juliet Victor. You're 5757, okay? Good copy, Mr. Microphone back to you. What is your name, please? My name is Mikhail. Mikey back to you.
Yeah, okay, from Golf 3 Oscar Juliet Victor. Yeah, very good afternoon to you. My name is Peter, Papa Echo Tango Echo Romeo. Name is Peter, and I'm running 10 watts to a Russian transceiver. The receiver has 4 filters going from 50 hertz up to 10 kilohertz, and these are user programmable.
Okay, thank you for my photo, Peter. I'm 73, Golf 3 Oscar Juliet Victor, for Foxtrot 4, India Yankee Delta. Merci beaucoup.
Let's now talk about the audio side. You can use the speaker mic for audio, and you get some pretty good audio. It's more than enough for use either indoors or in the field. But we can actually plug an external speaker into it. If I put an external speaker into this now, we're now listening to the audio. I can focus on the speaker a bit. There we are. We're now listening to the audio from the speaker. There's more than enough audio from the speaker
remember when I was on 10 watts and trying to get through to a station, so I always, if I call up and I get a lot of stations coming back from me, I try and listen for a little PEP. But that 1500 watts, sir, is very impressive.
Really is loud.
Yeah, talking about the weather, yeah.
They quote 3 watts in the manual.
Pretty good this morning.
I can quite believe it. I've covered the radio in as much detail as I can within the space of a reasonable amount of time. There are quite a few menu items. There's actually 30 menu items on the radio, and it's very easy to set it up to your own personal requirements. My experience, well, I've been operating the radio now for about 10 days, and I have grown to like it. When I say grown to like it, with a new radio, there's always this period where you're not quite sure where this is and where that is and what it does and what it doesn't do. I mean, for example, it took me a while to realise that if you wanted to tune in a CW signal so that you were 0 beat with that CW signal, so that when you went back he would hear you on his own frequency, there's a little dot that appears on the screen when you're correctly tuned. I hadn't noticed that, and it wasn't until I read the manual that I spotted it. So there's these sort of features which you suddenly come across. What impressed me most? Well, there was a physical thing that I liked, and I liked the fact that I could turn this radio on its face without damaging the screen and without putting any pressure on the knobs, because it's got those raised sections at the end, which mean you can put it face downwards and you won't damage it at all. You don't have to buy any extra side cheeks, so that was good. There was also the tilt stand at the back, which I don't think I really covered in the video. There's a tilt stand, so you can tilt the radio up at an angle of around about, I don't know, 30, 40 degrees, something like that, which makes the screen a little bit better to view, I suppose. There is no touch screen, but I didn't actually find that a problem, because all the menu items are covered, all on-screen menu items, the top and bottom, are covered by buttons, so you can get to them fairly easily. On the receive side, I was really impressed. It seems to be quite a quiet receiver, actually, and the audio quality is good, and I was really knocked back with the amount of audio. There's a genuine 3 watts of audio in there. So if you use an external speaker, you can certainly drive it very easily, and yet it works perfectly well with a speaker microphone. I mean, the speaker microphone can be loud, it can be over loud if you turn the volume up, but everything seems to be adjusted so that if you put the speaker in, it's at the right volume, and if you take the speaker out, the speaker mic's at the right volume. So it's been well thought through. I think the design has been developed over quite a long time, and it certainly smacks of military design because of the physical construction, the fact that the case is so rigid and so forth. The sockets that are provided on the outside, either side, are non-standard, but they're really nice sockets with screw fittings, and we will be carrying the range of those plugs, so you won't have any problem there at all. And of course it comes very well equipped with all the leads that you're likely to need. On the receive quality side, it was excellent. I like the filtering. I like the fact that you can adjust the filtering to suit your own needs. So you can adjust, there's 4 filter positions on each mode, and you can adjust those bandwidths. I think the smallest bandwidth is 50 Hertz. CW, it works extremely well. On SSB, I like it. I got some very good reports. I got the impression that it was quite a punchy signal, because the reports I got in terms of signal strength were a little bit higher than I expected when I was only running 10 watts. And of course you can adjust the power from 1 watt to 10 watts. It's very frugal on power consumption on receive. It's only about 110 milliamps it draws. On transmit it tends to be how loud you talk and so forth. But I didn't see that as a problem. I think if you say that on average it's drawing, on SSB it's probably drawing on average around about 1.5 to 2 amps maximum, I guess. So you're going to have a good life out of it. At the present time, there is no external battery that will fit on the back, but those connections which I pointed out in the review would suggest that a battery pack is imminent. So I think there will be a battery pack. As regards an antenna tuner, I don't know. What I do know is it's extremely well protected against VSWR. It will deliver power up to around about 3 to 1 VSWR. The power reduces as soon as you go over about 2 to 1. The power starts to reduce, but it will accept 3 to 1. And on a couple of occasions, I ran the radio without an antenna connected, and there was no damage done at all. And they do make the point in the book that it's well protected. And I suppose from a military point of view, you've got to expect that guys are going to try and transmit without an aerial. So I think it's well protected there. So all in all, yes, it's a nice transceiver. Our first supplies are due to arrive in September. And if you want to, at this point in time, order them, then you can go onto the to our website and put a deposit down, and you'll be assured of a radio from the first batch. So there we are. Interesting radio. First that we've handled from Russia, to my knowledge anyway. Russian radio, and interesting times, I think. So in the meantime, thanks for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And please remember to press the subscribe button, because that encourages us to keep doing these sort of videos. And any comments, of course, you can put underneath the video. And I think viewers like to read the comments. Some of them can be negative, some of them can be positive, and some of them can be a bit, shall I say, a bit weird. There we are. Thanks for tuning into this video. Appreciate it. And we will be back soon with more videos.
The TX500 is a water-resistant 10 watts transceiver covering 160 meters to 6 meters. The TX500 will be available in September. This fully featured transceiver comes with speaker microphone and all interconnecting leads. Just add 12 volts and an antenna. Waters and Stanton are proud to offer you this radio factory direct with a 2-year warranty. For further details, please check our website.